Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I would like to introduce you to Melora. And Melora is actually Greek in origin, and it means golden apple. And so I thought, since these are apple blossoms, and the original page that I did, she had blonde hair, I thought golden apple Melora was a good name to use for her. So as you can see, I have printed her on my Nina Desert Storm cardstock. We did white last time, and I'm going to try and continue to switch back and forth, either back and forth between white and tan, or back and forth between Luminance and Prismas. I'm going to try and keep it mixing it up for you guys. We'll see how well that goes, because, you know, we do have our favorites that we like to use. So this is actually the medium grayscale version of the page. I thought that I would, you know, show you how easy it is to get a light, pretty look with one of the darker versions. So this is the medium. And is there anything else? I'm going to probably mix my Luminance and my Prismacolors. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do her the way I would do her if no one was watching, and just kind of pick my colors that way. So hopefully that works for you. If I can, I will try and give the Prisma like what I would be using if I wasn't using one of the Luminance pencils, and we'll see how that goes. So, all right, so I'm going to readjust the camera a little bit, and I have my pencils ready to go, so we'll get started. Okay, so I think that I'm going to, instead of starting with my shading this time, I'm going to just put a layer of the peach Prisma down almost all over. I'll probably not put it down in the areas that I really want to be bright, because it's not really, well, I don't know. We'll see. I'll just do it, and we'll see what happens, see where I go. And I am not going to forget her ear this time. How about that? I'm actually remembering to do the ear. So I'm using a really light pressure, and my strokes are not really little circles, they're more like long ovals, but with this really light pressure in the first layer, I'm not really, I just kind of want to get some coverage. So if you are coloring this on white paper, I would be going straight for the peach. And I'd probably be doing the same thing, just kind of putting a light layer all over. Especially on the white, you want to put that buffer color down on the paper so that when you go to put your darks on, there's there's a layer of pencil so that when you go to blend, you're not fighting the paper. You're blending the color pencil together more than trying to blend that dark on as it's gripped the paper. Pull this up a little bit, if I can grab it. Come on now. Oh, you know what? I want to set this. I noticed on some previous videos that if I don't set that AEAF lock, then I go back and I look at what I filmed and my hand's in focus, but the coloring page is a little out of focus, and I know that would frustrate me. So I've got it locked now, so hopefully that won't happen here. Back up to the face. I'm gonna pull out my Chestnut and start putting some shading in. Again, I am barely touching the paper. We're going to build these layers up so that when it comes time to blend, they're almost already all blended. Sometimes my magnets get in my way. So if you follow me and you watch a lot of my videos, you're probably going to hear me saying the same things a lot in all of the videos as I go, because I never know who's watched what. So if I repeat myself over and over again throughout the different videos, please just ignore me if you already heard it before. You see how far back I'm holding my pencil? That really helps to keep the pressure nice and light. So I'm just working this area underneath her cheekbone a little bit. I don't want to make her cheeks too hard defined, but I do want a little bit of contouring under there. So I'm going to put something in here right now before I keep going. And that is, I'm going to take my white pencil. I'm going to put in the little hairs that are fine, and you know, here at the edge of her hairline. And I'll let that white pencil kind of act a little bit as a resist. I will continue to color over them, but I'm hoping that in doing this we keep some of that lightness there at the hairline. I think it's taken me a while to learn that I get much better results if I take my time and I build up many, many really light layers. I feel like my portraits are getting better than they were when even a year ago, or when I stopped, when I took that little break to explore my own artistic passions. And now that I'm doing portraits again, I feel like I've even improved in these as well, just by learning lighter layers work a lot better. A little bit. Besides, if you do really, really light layers, if you make a mistake, if you put color where you didn't really want it, or if you need to adjust color, it's a lot easier to do when your layers are really light, as opposed to if they've been put on heavy on the page. I want to put a little bit of white. Right along that edge. I don't want to make a mistake and cover that reflected light up with color. So if I get that in now, then I won't accidentally cover it up. And since I have it in my hand, let's go ahead and put a little bit of the highlight. I do get distracted. I will admit, I bounce back and forth between what I'm working on, pencils and stuff. Like I should really continue the chestnut down onto her body, but of course I got distracted and now I want to do the highlights. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go back to the chestnut because I want to keep working down here. So anytime you see hairs like these going over the skin, if it was me, and I was unfamiliar with this, artist, and I was just coloring the page, I would say don't try and kill yourself with coloring around these little thin hairs. What I would do is, if you're working on tan paper, just ignore them, because we're going to come in with our white at the end and add those. If you're working on white paper, then I would go ahead and take your white and put those little hairs in with a really sharp white pencil. Even though you can't necessarily see the white that you're adding, it will act as a resist. And then when you go to color, you can just ignore those lines so that you're not trying to color in between each little hair to avoid, getting color on it. That's just too stressful. So that's what I would do. I would either put white in as a resist or just ignore them and put them in afterwards. So now with the chestnut and the darker color, my stroke has changed quite a bit. I'm back to the teeny tiny little swirly strokes, so that I'm not doing this like I was when I was putting on the really light colors. And again, I found that flat area on my pencil, so that as long as I don't twist my pencil, that flat area is going to provide a nice, smooth lay down of the color without any harsh pencil marks, lines. If you do pick up your pencil, just remember to search for that flat edge before you put it back down on the paper. So I'm leaving this untouched because this is the top of her breast, and I want that to be a little bit brighter. Okay, I think that's okay to start with there. I'm thinking I want a little bit more here. So you could use the Strathmore toned tan paper if you want to do this on tan. Just be aware that it's a lot toothier than this paper that I'm using, and so you're going to need more layers to fill in the tooth of the paper. All right, let's do a little bit under her chin. I'm going to keep going. I'm not quite ready yet. I think I still need a little bit more of this. So still the chestnut, maybe just now another layer going over. And we need some more in here. All right, let's do some white. Again, this I'm going to do very, very lightly. I don't want this to be harsh. If you are using white paper, you want to make sure that you just preserve those highlights. Let's do a little bit of that down here. Actually, could probably just use light peach down there. Okay, let's do a little bit. My pencil is really, really sharp, so as I'm doing these, I'm really holding it at a very strong angle, almost parallel to the paper, because I want to keep that really soft. Let's go ahead and add some I would rather take longer time and build these layers up super slowly than get impatient and press too hard and then have to fight with blending out pencil marks. Okay, it's very light, but that's okay. We have a lot more layers to go yet. Let's go ahead and put some of the bright I'm going to go ahead and put these in now. Okay, a little bit on the top of her nose. I think that's good for now. All right, I think I'm going to switch back to peach. If you're working on white paper, play around and decide if you would like to do peach or light peach at this point. I want to be careful. I don't want to make her skin tone too dark. I want to keep this a light skin tone. And I think I mentioned before that you can use the same pencils on two different pages and make two completely different colors of skin, darker and lighter or whatever, just by altering the amounts of each pencil that you're using. So I've done plenty of pages where I've intended on doing a light skin tone and wound up just putting way too much of the darker tones down, and then all of a sudden now she's not as light of a skin tone as I would like. She's, gotten a lot darker, so I do want to try and be cautious of that. I want to try and get her as close to my original drawing as I can. So far, so good. I got, now I'm all like paranoid about, this is Chestnut, all paranoid about my coloring my pages after the that Fierce Friends page when she looked so different from the original. But it's quite easy to do if you're just coloring along and you change one little thing and all of a sudden the whole face takes on a different look. Starting to blend that color, that chestnut, starting to blend into the face now. A bit more of this down here. let's bring out the light peach. And I'm going to very lightly, I'm not starting all the way at the very edge because I don't want to cover up the very outer. So I'm kind of almost like feathering into the outer edges and then letting my pressure get heavier as I come further into the face. So as I work my way out here, my pressure is getting much, much lighter. This light peach is going to provide a very pinky color to her skin, so we'll counteract that with yellow. So if you've ever done a face and you look at it and you think, oh, her skin just looks way too pink, put some yellow on it and that will really help. When I say yellow, I don't mean like bright yellow. I mean like eggshell or beige. Beige is a nice yellowy color to use in skin tones. All right, I think I'm going to put a really light layer of this light peach on top of the cheekbones where those highlights are going to go. If you are working on white paper, don't do this. Put your white highlights down or make sure that you preserve the highlight, because this light peach on white paper is so much darker on white paper. And you know that we can put white on top of this tan paper with no problem. Don't want to press down too hard because I still need a lot more coloring and a lot more contouring on this. Okay. Let's go ahead and put some some pink in. I'm going to use, I think, the Luminance. Do I want Hibiscus pink in Luminance? You could use, if you don't have Luminance, you can use any of the pinks. Would be fine. I want to see what this... I thought maybe I would try this instead of the Anthro Pink. But I like I like some of these pinks that Luminance has. They're not as baby pink as a lot of the Prisma pinks seem to be. So again, I'm holding it really far back so that I'm not applying too much pressure, and I'm using oval strokes. Sometimes if I'm going really fast, it looks like I'm scribbling back and forth, but I'm not. I'm using round or oval. All right, let's get some yellow tones on here. So the question is, do I use Eggshell in Prisma or Buff Titanium in Luminance? They're quite different. This one is much yellower. The Eggshell is much yellower. I think I'm not ready for Buff Titanium yet. I think I want to get a little bit of this Eggshell on here. I've been neglecting her chin. I need to come in with some peach. Get some of this peach underneath. Eggshell. I still feel like there's so many more layers to go because I can still kind of see the paper underneath, so I know that I'm quite far away from being done. But I like what the eggshell is doing. Warming things up a little bit. I think I'm going to put some peach down here because that light peach on top of the white and just the blank paper really was looking yucky. To go on this bottom part here, but we'll keep working up and down, up and down. Let's throw some purples in here. So I could use Luminance. Light Aubergine is a really pretty color. Let me just see. I'm going to use the light Aubergine. If you don't have it, use black grape. They're both they're going to both give you the look that we want here. The light Aubergine seems to be a little bit redder of a purple. But if I wasn't using Luminance pencils and I was only doing this in Prismas, I'd be using black grape. Very, very, very lightly though. Again, just let's put some under here. Actually, I think I want a little bit up here too. You could use Chestnut in there too. Chestnut. I know I was in the middle of using the purple, but I'm here, so I'm going to keep using this Chestnut. This all needs to be quite a bit darker. sure that I get these darker tones in before I put too many layers on, and then I can't add them in anymore because I will be out of tooth. So I'd rather put them in now and have them be a little bit dark and then pull them back with the lighter colors than go to try and put them in later and not be able to. I still feel like this isn't quite ready yet. Her chest and neck, I've got so much more color to throw on there. All right, I'm switching back to the light aubergine, which would be black grape if you're doing Prismacolor. I know I'm bouncing around a lot, I'm sorry. That's just the way I color. Just kind of work it and keep applying as I see where things need. Okay. I'm trying to think of what I would use right now if I was doing this 100% in Prismas. I might use beige. Give me just a second while I kind of figure out what I need here. I don't know if I like how this feels yet underneath my... You know how you get to the point where you just know by feel if something's working or not, and I don't think that, I didn't like that yet. So I'm going to pull my white out, and I'm going to add some of that in here now. All right, bear with me for a sec. be cautious that I don't make her too dark. This is Beige. But I kind of like it for blue. Let's do our first blend with the Beige. This is pressure, like, I would call this light to medium pressure. It's not as light as when I feather color on, you know, like the darks, you know, it's not that kind of barely touching. It's firmer than that, but I'm not pushing hard at all. But I do want to kind of start blending some of these colors and making sure that I have pencil everywhere on her face, because right now I almost feel like there's areas where she doesn't have. It's kind of hard for me to tell you if you're on white paper what to do at this point, because I'm not on white paper, and so I don't know what you're experiencing. So use your best judgment to decide whether you should be doing this or using white or using eggshell. I think after I do this, I'm going to come in with a little bit more of the shadows and then a little bit more of the highlights. Because she's a little too dark right now. We need to go much, much, much lighter. So I'm really tempted to use the light peach. I think I've said before in previous videos, I tend to work back and forth, light and dark, light and dark. And just keep building up that color until I get it the way I want it. And I'm only now starting to, I know it probably looks really bad it looks bad to me when I look at it in the camera, but it might look better when I'm actually viewing it later. It tends to do that. I think it looks yucky, and then I look at the film and it's like, oh no, that looked fine. But I'm finally starting to get a buildup of pencil on here. Whereas before it was just, I was seeing way too much of the tooth of the paper or the color of the paper underneath. I'm going to add a little bit more chestnut in here. And then probably peach. Something about these three colors, chestnut, peach, and light peach, when they're blended together, especially I think on this tan paper, just look really nice. Okay, keep going, light peach. Let's get a little bit more chestnut right in here. Peach. Actually, she looks a little bit too light right in here. She's that needs some more chestnut. And maybe beige. Let's do some more white up in here. And I think it's going to be time to break out the Luminance. I've got Dark Flesh 5% here. Let's see what that does. Really warmed up this side of, you know, where I'm putting it, it's really warmed up the skin without making it look yellow. Let's see if you don't have this, you might try some Beige Sienna. Just pulling that out here. You might try some Beige Sienna and then add a little pink over the top. So the Beige Sienna Still gives that kind of beigey look. But it might need just a touch of pink, like blush pink over the top of it. And that'll get you close. That's one of the combos from the conversion chart. So maybe that will help you. I don't want to go too dark in here, but I'm kind of liking what it's doing. We might wind up doing a final blend with white and just really lightening everything up here, but I don't know. The further I go, the better I'm liking it, even though she's darker than the than my original drawing. I'm still kind of liking it, especially after adding this color. So again, it's one of the reasons why I just absolutely love some of these Luminance pencils. I cannot recommend them highly enough, and I do use them a lot in my color alongs. So sorry, I felt like that needed just a tiny little bit more white. I don't want that to be quite so, I don't know, I don't want that to be quite so all connected maybe. I don't know, I'm just going to put a little bit more. We want that to be subtle, not to be so standouty. Is that a word? Standouty? Okay. I want something light-ish to come in here and fill in some of this. That's going to be too yellow. Let's try beige. Again, I just feel like there's not enough pencil down here on the chest. I don't want to see any gray. If your skin looks gray, it's because you don't have enough pencil on the page. All right, I think I'm going to put some white down. Now, my pencil has gotten super duper sharp from me coloring on the side, and I don't want that. So I really hate to dull it down because it's such a nice sharp. I'm almost thinking of bringing in the buff titanium here maybe instead. Okay, guys, I like that. I told you about the buff titanium in the recommended Luminance video. It is such an outstanding blending pencil. Because it's not as bright as white. But it does a really nice job. Might not quite be ready for that there yet. I think I need some more dark underneath her chin. You can use Chestnut. In fact, I might use Chestnut. Let's put a little bit more dark color under here. Part of me feels like I should just break out the colorless blender. Okay, let's go back to buff titanium. These areas that I've been trying to keep light that don't have a lot of color on them, so just kind of sticking here. We have a lot still to do. Okay, we're getting better. I'm starting to feel like her tone is not bad. Let's do a little bit here on the ear. That may have been too much. This is the 5% warm earth. I'm not sure which to call it, because if you already own the pencil, it's probably called dark flesh. But if you don't own, if they're new pencils, then then you probably know it as warm earth. Okay, she needs more pink on her cheeks. This time I'm going to use the Anthro Pink from Luminance, but you could use just straight pink or blush pink. Blush pink probably would be better. If you don't have this, I would say go for blush pink. I still have work to do on her chest. I'm not happy with how that looks. Let's get some pink on her nose. I think she needs more shading on her nose still too. Very lightly, I'm just kind of glazing some pink on here. Okay, I'm going to take my white, which is so nice and sharp, very lightly highlight around the nostrils. This light that's under here, that's like a reflected light. And I think I'm going to lightly lighten right here above her lip. I might be ready to blend. No, you know what it needs? It still needs something. All right, let's come back down to her chest. What am I gonna do down here? This is bugging me. More light peach. It's too light. That's better. Nope, I don't know what I did. Okay, so I'm going to try something here, and I'm completely going off. Just bear with me for a second, you guys. I need to just see something here. No, that's not going to help. So never mind. What does that need? Let's try some burnt ochre. I don't know. We're so close. We're close. It's just not quite. So very, very lightly. I think this is going to do it. I would call this glazing because it's just, I'm trying to get this really thin, smooth layer all over the whole chest. That helped. I think if I blend that out with the colorless blender, it's gonna make a difference. Let's see what we get here. Make sure that the blender is clean. So I was blending blues out earlier, and that would definitely not be a good look. That might need a little bit of help. I will say that I might be tweaking this when we're done, because you guys know that's how I am. But that's better. Okay, I actually really liked that what is this? Burnt ochre. So I'm gonna put a little bit of that on her face as well. She needs a little something right in between, and I'm tempted to use the Dark Flesh Warm Earth 5%, 741. I swear this is one of my favorite pencils. some highlight in there. Let me blend this. See how little we have to blend? It doesn't take much work at all to smooth things out because we kind of did the blending as we were going by using really, really light layers. Okay, I'm going to do some gray lavender under her chin, or, you know, on her jaw, kind of find that flat spot if I can. I think this needs a little bit of brightness. Maybe eggshell. Or beige. Okay, where's that brown ochre? Let's put a little bit of that in here. I'm sorry, burnt ochre, not brown ochre. The oranges and the purples mixed together for some reason I really like. Get to her lips and her eyes. Adding this, when you add these, like the yellows, the light flesh 10%, or the eggshell, or this burnt ochre. Jeez. It adds this like beautiful warmth to the skin. Like the tops of the cheekbones. The nose, even the chin, her chest, you know, those places where the sun would touch. All right, we're at like an hour and 20. So I'm gonna stop as far as the working this chest. I am gonna keep going on it, but I could be working on this for another hour trying to get it the way I want it. I did something that's keeping me somehow from getting it nice and smooth. So I'll just have to work that a little bit more, but I think you guys get it. I'm gonna put a little bit, actually, I'm gonna take my eraser. That's better. I felt like I got a little bit, it was a little bit messy there. So, I'm gonna keep adding a little bit more. This is the Hibiscus Pink. Kind of liking combining the two different pinks on here. It's just a little bit extra that she needs, not too much. And so let's go ahead and do her her eyes and lips so that we at least get that done. And okay, I always use 10% cool gray for the whites of the eyes. I don't want her eyes, the whites of her eyes, to be white. And we're going to even put some more shading in there. So let's do, I have too many projects I'm working on at one time and my pencils are all over the place. Let's do 50% cool gray. Just really feather that into the eyeball. A little bit heavier in the corner and then going lighter. I might even want a little bit more. So this is 70% cool gray. Just in the very outer edges. We can always blend it out with white if it feels like it's too dark. In fact, let's just blend with the white very lightly. We're just blending it. Okay, let's what color eyeballs or eyeballs? Irises. What color irises should we give her? Yeah, my favorite color is turning out to be that whatchamacallit color from I can't think of what it is right now. I want her eyes to be similar to the colors I'm going to use on the other side. So let's I don't know. I think that's going to be too light. So this is jade green. I'm going to put some of that in here at the bottom. And then I'll use kelp green. On the outer bit and just feather that in a little bit. And then black. Very, very lightly, almost just kind of tapping it into the outer ring. I just want to darken it. I don't want to make a line of black. Does that make sense? Okay. Her eyes, her lashes and stuff are pretty clear here. I want to do one thing. I want to add a little bit of grayed lavender underneath. And then I'm going to use espresso. Just along here. And you know, I want to give her a little bit of, I need to get the names of what all of these little body parts are. That little water line. I want that water line to show a little bit more. And I realized I forgot to put any color in here. This is Nectar. And then I tend to use Mahogany Red. Just and a little bit of it just to deepen that in some areas. I don't know where my white pencil went. There it is. Let's fix that. Okay, I am going to take my black, just feather it into that crease. Not very heavy, but just a little bit, just to darken it. And then I will go ahead and redo the eyelashes. Just darken them, I guess, would be. The ones underneath are always really fine and soft and small, you know, small. Don't go too crazy there. Showing up quite heavy, I think, because of the shadowing there. So, all right, let's do the lips, because again, I can never really tell if I'm going to be happy with anything until the eyes and lips are done. I'm going to use 10% cool gray on her teeth, just right there inside her mouth. And then 50% cool gray in the corners. We want those teeth to be just barely showing. They can be dark. Okay, white. Okay, my favorite base color, Nectar. I might not have gone down far enough, so let me just, I can't decide if I want to put a white line underneath there or not. Let's look and see what that looks like. That's good, I like that. Okay, let's use, I don't want to go too dark on her lips. I'm not sure what I want to use yet. This is the Anthro Pink. Mineral Orange and Blush Pink are the color combos for if you don't have Prismas. I would use Blush Pink, and then if you don't like the color, add a tiny little bit of Mineral Orange, because you see how the this Anthro Pink is kind of an orangey. Okay, but it's almost not pink enough because we're doing pink apple blossoms. So I'm going to use the Mahogany Red as the darker color. And that's going to go in the corners and along the edge of the mouth where the mouth is open. Careful. Those are the darkest areas, because this is in shadow. And then underneath the lip, or, you know, on the underside of the lip. That's also kind of in shadow. And then we'll do a little bit underneath. And just really softly blend it up into the lower lip. I like that. So let's do a little bit more white right there. And I'm going to use my colorless blender just to gently blend out the whatchamacallit marks, and it actually kind of gives me this really pretty, I'm glad I used these colors, this really pretty pinky Okay, so I want to do something with her here in her, the rest of her mouth. I'm gonna use black and just a tiny little bit. You don't want to turn her lips black. That would be bad. I've done that before. Just accentuating the where the two lips come together. That's better. I like that. I don't think I want to use black in those corners though, so I'm gonna pull out chestnut. Let's do chestnut, just to make that shadow. And I went too far up, so I'll blend that out with some white. She gets a little bit of a highlight there. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about this. I have to say. At this point, what I will be doing is just smoothing and blending and refining, you know, anything that I see that I feel like needs a little bit of extra help. But I think all in all, she's pretty good. I will, off camera, just work on her chest a little bit more. It's just going to be me adding more color of what I've already got down so that I can get that a nice smooth look. Her chest is a little bit, showing a little bit too much gray down here, and that's just because I haven't added enough color pencil and blended it all out yet. So I will work that. But as far as the rest of it goes, I think her face looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm happy. So the only thing I might do is just add a little tiny bit more contouring underneath her cheekbones. And I can use chestnut, which is what I have in my hand right now, or I can use the Luminance Dark Flesh. Yeah, so I think that's probably what I'll do. I might just do a tiny little bit more contouring in here. And actually, I keep seeing all these things that need work. Her, this lip part here is too, I didn't do anything to it other than put dark in it. So we need to get that a little bit closer to skin tone color. That's better. Okay. All right, yeah, I would say for the most part, I am finished. I will just do a few more little tweaky thingies on her, and that'll be that. So, yeah, until I see you guys in a couple days for part 2. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Happy coloring. Bye-bye.